Okay, so we're using the vehicle of Tepi so that we can practice using structure to eventually break off, but we're using it as an entry. So as we work with the 6 count here, if we decided to work off one side here, I would break the tempo and I would increase my speed and my frequency and of course change into whatever I feel like doing. And then again, if we look at that, there aren't many don'ts, because when it's time for me to freestyle, I can literally do whatever I want as long as I hit. But of course, some of the don'ts that I want you guys to remember is if we know that we're working off this side, we don't want to necessarily go this way, though I can, because you would run into their other stick, if they had 2 sticks, of course, right? And then the other one is prolonging the fight, where if I go here and I'm striking, there's gonna have to be some sort of restraint there, okay? To again follow up to what I said before I turned on the camera, my job with overwhelming them is to make it simple again. It's not to obliterate them and slice them up into shreds. It's so that the frequency is so overwhelming that after I use whatever structure to break out of the structure, and maybe this itself is structure, but I want him to stop moving because he doesn't know what's happening and it's overwhelming his system, so he just kind of shells up. Maybe tries to run away from me or whatever it is, right? Because grappling isn't necessarily the top of my list when I have double sticks. It's distance, it's striking, it's freedom to slash, snap, and thrust, right? There are some systems and there are some styles where you can disarm. It's not my forte. So I'm gonna stick to my gut and I'm gonna be able to create as much control via offense or via striking, okay? And so we'll do the heaven 6 that we did earlier, right? So we're doing the heaven 6 drill like so. And then if we structure that again, and we work off 1, 2, 3, I'm working off here, freestyling, and then Adam is gonna come to me, he's gonna try to rebuttal, and then we find ourselves back into the drill, but I wanna maintain that tempo. And we're just using the drill as the vehicle again, that when I work off of this, and I'm firing off here, I'm lighting them up, the heaven 6 that he's gonna come back to is just a response itself. So I'm just using that structure to maintain our safety. But what I'm doing is I'm breaking out of my freestyle, call that structure or not, but I'm breaking out of that into another one so that I can recognize that he is doing something that I need to accommodate, because whatever I did before that freestyle wasn't enough. So I can't just keep going along with the freestyle and hope that he's going to do what I want him to do, because clearly he's not. Clearly it didn't work. If it worked, it would have been finished there, okay? And so that's the thing with structure. We try to use the Tepi to understand, different points that we can work off of and how we can outline different angles. But ultimately, like I said, what I do want to work off, if we go back to the first 6 count, what I do want to work off is this, and use that step number 1. I don't want to prolong it. And again, if he can respond, whether the same thing or just respond in general to my first 3 strikes that I've been training on the mats, it's a little scary that he can do that. The first one, sure, everyone can block the first one, maybe even the second one. But if he can do 3 rebuttals to me, then I might have to consider jumping out of the Tepi. Or even when I jump out of it, to make sure that whatever I go to is not Tepi as well, right? Because even if I move faster, right? Let's keep going to this actually. Even if I move faster, he's still on par with me, because it's the same pattern. When we try to do our freestyle, it will always be based off of something else, something that we've done before, some sort of structure we did. But it's important we learn how to utilize that structure, because we don't want it to be recreated. We don't want it to be matched, so to say, and it should always be like a 1 of 1. So when you guys even take that back to the beginning of class, when you do your Sinawali, that 6 should be able to be broken up and then recreated in a way that only you can do. Because if you're going to use that in these freestyle portions, it shouldn't be something that is familiar to them as well, or it shouldn't be something that is like commonly traced. Or if I see you do a Sinawali, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I see this one again, I can recognize the pattern. I shouldn't be able to see that. If anything, I should just feel that. Does that make sense? Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right.